Is your best employee leaving? Maybe you're going through tough times when several employees leave in succession. Are you wondering what you can change to improve employee retention? Great exit interviews will help you improve your organization. With exit interviews, you'll get better at keeping high-performing employees. I will show you how to do them the right way. Typically, an exit interview is just a quick formal meeting by HR. It's popular to do them as the employee is leaving the office for the last time. HR departments, they usually have formal questionnaires that they just need to go through and get it over with. With such an approach, employees don't share insights, they don't bring up any good ideas. Ideally, an exit interview feels relaxed and informal. It should make the employee feel safe. That makes it easier for them to really open up and contribute ideas. In terms of timing, my recommendation is not to do exit interviews on the very last day. I don't like to do them when the employee has already mentally checked out and is literally going out the door. My approach is to do exit interviews several days before the last day on the job. To make the employee feel more relaxed, to make the conversation feel less formal, we don't use the questionnaires. We're not here to fill out the paperwork. We're here just to chat. Of course, it's important to be structured and prepared. So I usually have a cheat sheet on my desk to make sure I don't forget anything important. Regarding note-taking, HR approach is to try and record everything, almost every single word. That makes people intimidated. That makes them hesitant to share their true feelings and insights. How I take notes is I only take notes about important ideas. If I hear a great insight, then I just say, that's such a great idea. Let me make a quick note of it before I forget. Exit interviews is where I try to listen as much as I can. This meeting is all about the employee, about their impression of the job, and about their ideas. There are two perspectives that I switch between. First, asking about employees' feelings, emotions, and experience. Second, is trying to gain further insight by asking the employee to share what they would do, what they would change if everything was under their control. Switching between these two modes during conversation makes it more lively. Not only I will identify what is bad, I will also have some ideas what to do with it. And those ideas, they come from insiders. Now let's look at important questions to ask during the exit interview. I start with something easy, such as, what did you enjoy most about the job? What did you enjoy the least? Then I probe for toxicity in the workplace and for major frustrations, such as, how was the work environment? How did the company culture feel? What was most frustrating in your job? Then I move on to the main theme of the conversation. Going straight to the point, I ask, why did you start looking for another job? I sometimes dig deeper with, was there any specific event, issue, or a problem that pushed you to look for another job? Then probing for problems and improvements in how we are organizing our work. So I ask, did you have clear goals? Did you know what was expected of you? Did you feel that your work was important and appreciated? If I'm not the direct manager, I can also ask, what did you think of your manager? Next, moving on to assessing the fit between qualifications and the job. I ask, did you feel your skills were fully utilized? Because maybe the employee is leaving because they felt overqualified or not challenged enough. I also ask, did you feel there were career growth opportunities in the company? This is especially useful in case of employees who have spent a lot of time with us. This is also a good time to ask about compensation. I will not be negotiating the salary with this employee anymore, so I ask directly if they feel that the pay and benefits package was fair. But don't ask about the salary at their new job. Some employees don't want to share that, and it will make them defensive. So far, we've covered different aspects of employee experience, feelings, and emotion. Now is a good time to ask for suggestions. Suggestions about improving the role, improving the department, improving the processes. I also ask for suggestions about overall morale and culture in the company. Try to end the meeting on a positive note. So I usually ask, what will you miss the most about your job and about the company? After that, I close the interview, wishing the employee best of luck in their next job. There are pitfalls. There are things you definitely should not do during an exit interview. First and foremost, the exit interview is not the place and not the time to try to retain the employee. In this meeting, I assume that the employee has already made up their mind, that we've already tried the best we could to retain them. Remember the main purpose of exit interviews. It is to improve your organization so that other employees don't leave. Second, don't interrupt and don't argue. Don't point out where you think the employee is wrong. At this point, it's too late to change anyone's mind. So, you just stare them in the eye and listen. Third, Don't rush. Give all the necessary time for the employee to say and explain everything they want. Some employees will have a lot to share, a lot to get off their chest. Remember, we are trying to stay relaxed and friendly. The more the employee talks, the better. Pitfall number 4, you don't need to go into negativity, especially when discussing other people. Whatever you hear, don't encourage gossip. Don't join in on blaming other people. Saying bad things about others will only make you look bad. The question to avoid is, so, who was the worst person you worked with? Yeah, that's not good. Final point is to avoid comparison. There's no point in asking the employee to compare their new job with the job they just had. They would have to justify themselves for you, so they'll get defensive. Also, this information will be useless for you because the employee will be going off of their expectations and assumptions of the new role. They haven't been there yet. They don't have the real experience. Now that we know what questions to ask and what to avoid, I want to mention that not all exit interviews will be useful. Sometimes I just cannot make the employee open up at all. Some people will come into the meeting convinced that the less they talk, the better it is for them. They will give standard dry answers. They will try to get over it and get out of there as quickly as possible. In those situations, if you come prepared, if you follow the recommendations, in the end, you can be sure that you did the best you could. To sum it up, exit interview is not about you. It's about the employee who is leaving. It is about their experiences, impressions, feelings, their great ideas. It's not easy to keep your own ego in check during the interview. It's not easy just to stay quiet and listen. But remember your main goal. You're aiming for improvements that you can take into account after this employee leaves. Now that we covered interviewing employees who are leaving, doesn't it feel like many of these questions are relevant for your staying employees too? They too have experiences, frustrations, motivations, and ideas. All of that you can use for improvement efforts that your existing employees will be a part of, improvement efforts that your existing employees will benefit from. Your loyal employees, they deserve to be heard as well. That's all from me. Please leave a comment. What was your experience with exit interviews? Are you doing them at all? Is your experience negative or positive? What did I miss? Please like and subscribe. I'm Alek Melnikov, and I will see you next time.